By 2050, the world's population will exceed 9 billion people, and it's estimated that around 1 in 5 of those people will be over the age of 65. At no point in human history has there been so many people in this age band. Older people are at greater risk of many chronic diseases, which lower health-related quality of life. So how can we age better with less chronic disease? McMaster University researchers are working to show how physical activity and nutrition are key components to health in later life. Their studies focus on aging more successfully or having a longer health span. Successful aging is defined by physical, mental, and social well-being in older age. Age is the primary risk factor for most chronic diseases, which is why an emphasis on health in later life is extremely important. Chronic disease in later life, combined with loss of strength and muscle mass, often lead to a loss of physical mobility, which puts older persons at risk for further health problems or worsening existing chronic diseases, all of which are precursors to the development of frailty. The age-related loss of muscle and strength is called sarcopenia, which is also associated with a decline in physical performance. It's not known when sarcopenia begins, but it's measurable in most people around 50 years old, when muscle mass is decreasing at an average of 0.5 to 1% per year, and strength at between 1 and 3% per year. Sarcopenia is associated with an increased risk of falls and fractures, the development of frailty, and of metabolic diseases like type 2 diabetes mellitus and cardiovascular disease. Unabated, sarcopenia can lead to disability and can exacerbate other chronic diseases.
So, why do older people develop sarcopenia? The condition is age-related, but is hastened by a lack of physical activity and low dietary energy, and especially protein intake. As the years go by, social, physical, and mental barriers can create mobility problems for older people. In addition, due to several factors including a decline in appetite, this age group aren't getting enough much-needed protein either. This can lead to undernourishment and a reduction in muscle mass and strength. Periodic inactivity is also an important factor in unsuccessful aging. Factors such as poor mental and physical health and social isolation can easily lead to greater inactivity. Older people tend to go outdoors less in bad weather conditions, and if they contract something like the flu, they can suddenly find themselves hospitalized and convalescing for longer periods. During this period of inactivity, there is often a loss of strength and muscle mass, which is much more difficult to recover in older persons. So, how can older people reduce the effects of sarcopenia? There are no pharmaceuticals available that can treat sarcopenia. Instead, lifestyle modifications must be made to slow the advance of the condition and to recover better following inactivity. Evidence shows that older people may benefit from a greater intake of nutrient-rich sources of protein. It's hypothesized that this age group need more protein than the recommended daily allowance of 0.8 grams per day if they are to retain their strength and muscle mass. Even more importantly, studies show that if an older person remains physically active, they have a lower risk of chronic disease and a higher chance of aging successfully. Rehabilitation is key after hospitalization, illness, or any other prolonged periods of inactivity. Without it, sarcopenia can advance more rapidly, and so will the deterioration of a person's health. In many countries, it's already happened, but if not yet, then over the next decade, people over the age of 65 will start to exceed the population of those under the age of 15. So it is imperative to be physically active and promote greater protein intake sooner rather than later for older persons.